those associations. So because of that, Lusophone games and all could take place in Goa because he was in forefront of organization of these games, and he will be also in forefront of organization of national games this month. So this type of involvement brings him constantly in contact with all types of people from all types of that backgrounds, in addition to his own professional interest and background. So that gives him local, economic, industrial, social, political, national, economic, social, political, industrial, and global, wherever he goes. One day he will be in Korea, next day he will be in Singapore, third day he will be in London, fourth day he will be in some other place. So wherever there are events, recently I think he was in Thiruvananthapuram, I think, for national game. I think press is following him, he is not following himself. So my first interaction, I knew him as also very well-known social worker, but not much publicized. Actually, both him and his better half, Mrs. Rupa Bhakta, who is presently the chairperson of MAPSA Municipal Council, they are well-known in Goa as the active, very proactive people in every sphere. She is doing a lot of work in women's empowerment, education, and so many other areas, social work and all, self-help groups, things like that. And he is also complementing the activity, today he has spare time, he is an extremely busy person, you see his entire biodata is 160 pages. So I spare you that whole thing of reading associations and work and all that. And in a nutshell, I will tell you how I met him and how we brought our interests together. Government of Goa had constituted a committee around 10 years back to get geographical registration, indication registration for a country liquor, which is cultural heritage of Goa, which is biotechnological heritage of Goa, which is heritage of traditional knowledge of Goa, that is Cashew Feni. Depending on the type of fermentation process and skills of distillation and distilling, you get Kajal, you get Urrak, and you get Feni. Now Kajal is not Urrak, Urrak is not Kajal, and Urrak and Kajal is not Feni. But he innovated further and created different variants of Cashew Feni by preparing his own, I think, unpatented mixtures, various types of spices and all. That is a very important innovation in our history of fermented beverages. So he brand positioned Cashew Feni, Cazcar, not only in terms of the product, but also the process, and also brand positioning in very attractive, specially designed bottles, isn't it? But again, I don't know whether you have taken registered the trademark and the bottle design is not registered. So you see those bottles and all. So people will never think of creating more waste by throwing those well-designed Feni bottles. Feni in Goa has many connotations. Understood? So in 2006, when we were sitting on the committee, both of us and Meg was, Madam Rosa Distilleries, who also produces wine, all of us, we came to the conclusion that we must create a body of knowledge and give it to the registration authority in Chennai, where the headquarters of geological indication of products is situated, and we have to convince them according to their format, because this whole committee was under Directorate of Science and Technology under Dr. N.P.S. Bhakta, and there are members from ICR, members from Agriculture Department, Industries Department, Education Department, and so on. And I was from University, and we were researching. We got documents from Goa Archives, some people got documents from some other places, and we also consulted knowledgeable older people, and we went to Bhatikas, who are Bhatikas. Bhatikas are those who are having those bhatis, where they distill, the local fermented juice. You have seen last time in Oenology class, I showed them some bhatis from Ranen's constituency, Pratap Singh. He has his own bhatis also. He has headquarters. So they saw the crude process and some mechanization also which they have introduced in this body. So 4,000 plus. First of all, cashew is cultivated over more than 50 to 60,000 hectares of land in Goa. 5-6 varieties are there. Bali 1, Bali 2, Ebola 1, Ebola 2, Ebola 3, Ular 1, Ular 2, Ular 3, so on and so forth. Plus there are some wild types. First of all, cashew is not a local crop. It was introduced by Portuguese to stop erosion of the hill slopes. Because so much of firewood people had cut everywhere, there was no other source of firewood or cooking fuel. Everywhere people in Goa had chopped and denuded the hill slopes, and siltation was taking place in rivers, and the Portuguese decided to bring this do-nothing cashew. You don't have to irrigate it, you don't have to fertilize it, and it was good for tropical disturbance. So everywhere on hill slopes, they created cashew plantations, and they had no interest in use of cashew apple, neither they had any idea of cashew nut. So some missionaries who are going around, for their missions and all, they just were curious because they had come from a culture of Mediterranean fermentation culture, wine region. So from that region, when they landed up in Goa, the Spanish missionaries, Jesuit missionaries, Augustinian monks, Dominican priests, all of them started thinking this as sugar. They consumed that cashew because they were acclimatized to cashews in Brazil, and they decided to experiment with it. They decided to experiment with nuts. So they roasted and they found that the nut is edible and very good source of protein. From that, another industry was born. Then the sailors and shipbuilders in Portuguese Navy found that cashew shell liquor extract, has carbolic acid and phenolic resins, which are active against fouling organisms. So all over Goa, if you see the sluice gates and local boating ships, various types of canoes, they are all coated with cashew shell liquor. So there are at least in Goa today 20 to 30 definitely established traditional uses of cashew, including the wood, timber and everything. One of it was Feni. So we collected all the information and several times we met and discussed. There was J.K. Dadu was there, Secretary Industry Report. One night, all of us, Dr. Verde, Industry Secretary of Goa Government, Dadu, it was full moon night, and he was taking us like a horror movie, put us in a vehicle and we started driving. We thought that we are going to watch some wild animals, but suddenly in the full moonlight I saw his factory and everybody could see, inside the middle of the forest we have put this distillery. It was like a revelation. And there some of them tasted urak and all that, and we had a long discussion about how to position. And finally Goa government convinced the registration authority, and today Goa has 10 years. 10 years now registration. Now what is the meaning of, he was one of the architects of that cashew registration. So today Spain wanted to manufacture and sell Feni as Goa Feni, cashew Feni. They can't do it. Vietnam wanted to, Zambia wanted, Kenya wanted, all those countries who are competing with India in cashew production. Now largest cashew production is in Vietnam, followed by Tanzania. India is there somewhere in top 3, but the production fluctuates. So all of them, Republic of South Africa is also eyeing our market. So what they think, they can also process. They have vast resources. Spain has vast resources, vast knowledge and vast idle machinery. So they just think that if we purchase cashew apples from Africa or even juice in containers, because nobody thinks of just 1 drum here and 1 drum there. They want wagons, they want full shiploads of containers. Economies of scale are vast. So what they aimed was to make cashew Feni and dump shiploads of cashew Feni in Goa so that it would be cheaper than this. And once Feni becomes cheaper than this, then I don't think people in Goa will ever touch this. Right? So this is exaggeration. So once again, please give a big hand for this achievement. It was because of 4 or 5 people that this could be stopped. Government of India acknowledged. In Parliament it was mentioned. In Assembly people thanked them. That first time in state of Goa after the enactment of Geological Indication of Products Act 2002 by Parliament of India, under which more than 60 products have been registered. Mysore sandalwood soap, Darjeeling tea, Kolhapuri chappal, Kanjivaram sari, Banarasi silk, all this is registered under GIP Act. For each of these registration, you have to print this thick documentation. Today he has got his Feni analyzed by CFTR. So we know all the ingredients. There are various types of variations, but he won't even talk about Feni. There are two aspects of his presentation. He is very much interested in boosting local, I won't say only Goa, because all types of people are now settled in Goa from different backgrounds, and people outside Goa also want to invest in Goa. All of them are welcome if they are creating lots of local job for educated unemployed youths. So his vision is give you the message that if you have land, if you have farm, if you have knowledge, you have interest, then jump into bio business, bio industry. And just like DD Naik from Margaon gave you an idea of his Monchini experience along with his business philosophy. From North Goa, you heard one experience of one entrepreneur from South Goa. Today you hear one experience of another entrepreneur from North Goa. He was in business of, the bread and other confectionery. Mr. Bhakta is in business of fermented distilled beverages. And he has incorporated technology, he has improved the process. Few of you will be placed over Saturdays, beginning from 14, 28, 4th and 11th April at his factory and farm. And all of us will be visiting, all those who are doing Oenology, will be visiting his farm because he has been kind enough to really take time and show us around and explain all the processes inside his factory from primary fermentation to the final distilling. So here is a University of Cashew Feni which has come to your doorsteps. So we welcome him, and I request Valerie Dias on behalf of all of us, the department and the university, to welcome our speaker and guest with the token of our love and appreciation. Floral bouquet, and these are our simple sentiments and gratefulness to you, sir. And I believe that now, please treat this as your class, your professor here. So I will not come into the way between you and the students.